If you've been cooking garlic the same way for 40 years, chopping it, dropping it straight into hot oil, you've been doing something that quietly cancels out one of the few foods that genuinely supports the prostate. And almost no man over 60 has ever been told. What most kitchens get wrong about garlic isn't the amount, it's the timing. Today we'll walk through what garlic actually does inside the prostate, the one kitchen habit that decides whether it works or fails, and the exact way to prepare it so the active compound survives. Research on men over 60 shows this preparation step matters more than the amount of garlic on your plate. But most cookbooks never mention it. By the end, you'll know what to change tonight. Garlic has carried a reputation as a prostate-friendly food for decades, and the data backs it up. In 2007, the European Journal of Nutrition published a multi-center case control study comparing 1,369 men with benign prostatic hyperplasia against 1,451 healthy controls. Men with the highest garlic intake had 28% lower odds of developing BPH. Add onions to the mix, and that number climbed to 35%. A separate study in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute followed 238 men and found those with the highest allium vegetable intake, over 10 grams a day, had 50% lower prostate cancer risk, independent of body size or total calories. The signal in the research is real and consistent, but here's where most men over 60 have been quietly misled. The reason garlic affects the prostate isn't garlic itself. It's a single compound called allicin. Allicin is anti-inflammatory. It interferes with the DHT pathway that drives prostate enlargement. Animal research published in Phytotherapy Research in 2016 showed garlic administration suppressed the inflammatory proteins COX2 and INOS, the same proteins implicated in BPH tissue growth, and reduced relative prostate weight in test animals. Now here's the part that changes everything. Think of garlic the way you'd think of a tea bag. The flavor, the medicine, isn't already in the leaves. You have to steep it before anything happens. With garlic, the water is an enzyme called alliinase. The leaves are a compound called alliin. Crush the clove and alliinase finally meets alliin. That reaction is what creates allicin. No reaction, no allicin. No allicin, no real prostate benefit. And here's what almost nobody tells you. Alliinase, the enzyme that does the work, is heat sensitive. Drop crushed garlic into hot oil and the enzyme is destroyed in roughly 30 seconds. The reaction never finishes. You end up with cooked garlic that tastes like garlic, smells like garlic, and contains almost none of the compound your prostate actually responds to. 40 years of throwing crushed garlic into the pan immediately, and most of the medicine has been going out the kitchen window. This is the part most men over 60 have never heard. Food chemistry research on garlic preparation has consistently shown that the allicin reaction takes about 10 minutes after crushing to reach maximum stability. If you let crushed garlic sit on the cutting board for 10 minutes before it touches heat, you lock in the allicin first. Then heat barely affects it. The fix takes 10 minutes of patience and 0 extra ingredients. Now, what does that translate to in real men with real prostate symptoms? In 2003, the journal Nutrition Research published a small clinical trial. Men with BPH took aged garlic extract daily for 1 month. Their International Prostate Symptom Score, the standard scale urologists use, ranging from 0 to 35, dropped from an average of 15.4 down to 7.9. Urine flow rates improved. The sample was small, only 27 men with no placebo group, so the result isn't definitive on its own. But it points the same direction as every other study on this list. Garlic isn't a treatment. It's not a substitute for a urologist's care. But across observational data, mechanistic research, and the small clinical trials we have, the signal is consistent. When the Allicin survives long enough to do its job. And if you've been cooking garlic wrong for years and only learning this now, then it's not your fault. This isn't taught in cookbooks, food shows, or most doctors' offices. Hit hype on this video so it reaches more men over 60 who deserve to know. Hype is free, 3 uses per week, And it's the simplest way to push real information past the noise. Now let's get to the part that matters. Exactly how to prepare garlic so it actually works. Here is the protocol, 5 steps. Every detail matters. You can do this with tonight's dinner. Step 1, take 2 to 3 medium cloves of fresh garlic. Not the jar of pre-minced garlic and oil. That garlic was processed weeks or months ago, and the allicin activity is essentially gone. Fresh, whole cloves only. Step 2, crush them with the flat side of a knife or chop them finely. The point is to break the cell walls. Whole unbroken cloves can't release the enzyme. There's no reaction without crushing. Step 3, walk away for 10 full minutes. Set a timer if you need to. This is the step that does all the heavy lifting and the one almost everyone skips. The crushed garlic is sitting there reacting with itself, building allicin while you're not watching. Step 4, when the timer rings, add the garlic to your dish. If you're cooking it, use moderate heat, not high heat. Hot enough to soften, not hot enough to scorch. Olive oil pairs well here because the fat helps carry the sulfur compounds into your system. Even better, add the garlic toward the end of cooking instead of the beginning. Step 5, if you can tolerate it, eat at least one of those rested cloves raw, chopped fine into a salad dressing, mashed into avocado, or stirred into hummus. Raw garlic that has rested 10 minutes contains the most active allicin you can deliver to your body in food form. Now, 3 common mistakes to avoid. Mistake 1, pre-minced garlic from a jar. It looks convenient, but the active compound is essentially 0 by the time you open it. Mistake 2, garlic powder. The drying process destroys allicin entirely. It tastes like garlic but does almost nothing for the prostate. Mistake 3, throwing the crushed garlic into smoking hot oil immediately. Even with the 10-minute rest, scorching heat at the pan stage strips a meaningful portion of what you built. What to expect, realistically, weeks 1 through 2, nothing dramatic. The body is just starting to register the change. Weeks 3 through 5, many men in the literature report fewer nighttime bathroom trips and slightly stronger stream. Weeks 6 through 8, this is when the patterns from the clinical trials start to show up in everyday life. IPSS-style improvement, more comfortable urination, less of that 2 a.m. disruption. None of this is guaranteed for any individual man, but it's the timeline the evidence supports. 10 minutes of patience can outwork 10 years of supplements. Your prostate isn't broken. It's been waiting for you to learn what nobody told you. 40 years of cooking garlic the same way wasn't a mistake. It was the only way you knew. Now you know a better way. That's not a small thing. That's how change actually happens in the body of a man over 60. One quiet kitchen habit at a time. Bring this to your next appointment. Tell your urologist you've added properly prepared garlic to your routine. Ask if there's any interaction with your current medications, especially blood thinners, which is the one real interaction worth checking, and ask what your most recent IPSS score is. A wise man uses information as a tool, not a prescription. If this changed how you'll cook tonight, hype this video, 3 free per week, and it sends this past the algorithm to other men who need to hear it. Garlic is one allium. There's another one in your kitchen right now. Most men eat it weekly without knowing it works on the prostate through a completely different pathway. In the next video, we'll cover the onion the right way, which type matters, how to prepare it, and why combining it with garlic, the way you've just learned, amplifies the effect. Most men have been throwing onions into the pan wrong too. Take care of yourself. You've earned it.